my friends, so this is my kid's birthday party, and it's a different type of business which I really love, the small business, and I was thinking about going into phone parties. I thought, do you know what, it sounds like a complete mess. I don't like mess. So I hired these guys, one of them who I know who used to be a magician in Brisbane, and they came along and just chucked out this whole load of foam. Now I'm going to go and press play in a second to show you what happened in here and what like a kid's birthday party is usually like for kids in Brisbane. And I'm just going to do a running commentary basically. So this is my little girl jumping up and down. I've got twins, twin girls. They look the same, but one of them was crying in the corner. So as you can see, these are my two little girls. Now, as a parent, I like to save money. I don't like spending money on rubbish. And one thing that is basically rubbish is, not rubbish, but a waste of money is birthday cake. Because lots of kids don't like birthday cake, especially when it's made by a company. They sometimes taste a bit airy or a bit sweet. So I've got them here. And I buy a cheap supermarket cake, and then I get them to decorate it with the lollies that they choose. And they chose all these different things. So on here as well, I got Temu things like to blow up, just to sort of theme it with the good old phone party, as you can see. So we just did some little videos before it started to go crazy because we had 35 kids. My boy's not impressed. And we had a lovely time with these. You don't really need much for a party. In fact, you just need your friends. You see those balls in the background? Those balls in the background spent as much enjoyment with the children than the phone party itself. I don't know why, and I got those from Temu for like $5 for $3 or something. I think it's really important for birthday kids to have a badge, especially one that has their name and their number of their date. I didn't get one for the girls, and then I realised how important it was for them. So here are their presents, here are their cakes. They've got a dog being chased by a tsunami, a volcano, and a dinosaur cake. And they go to the local sort of big factory lolly shop, sweet shop, and they get all of the things to decorate their cake. The reason why I do this rather than buy a really expensive cake as well, one is to save money, but two, because when I was a kid, my mum used to get me to make the decorations. We grew up in a council house with my alcoholic dad who used to drink all the money away. So we used to make the decorations and the toys. And it was really special for me to have children come in and see my decorations. So I wanted to do that with them while they grew up. So here are all my friends. We had a little boy there started saying, "You sound like a poo." And I was glaring at him. He actually turned out to be quite a nice boy, which I felt bad after that. So I've got these little candles. Sometimes I buy the big balloons, the big helium balloons. And they take so long to go down and they slowly die. I didn't bother this time, especially when we were doing an outside party. So the next part is the exciting part, which is the guys who come in to do the phone party. Now, top tips. I learnt a lot as being a parent rather than just doing the show. They told me they'd be there at 2:10. I've got an email from them a text message from them saying, "We'll be there at 2:10. They thought that was for a 2:30 show, but I'd booked them for 3. So I'm expecting them to be there at 2:10. At 2:40, I'm worried now. They got there on time. I know Chris is a professional, so I was hoping not to worry, but I was worried by 2:40. And they came in. There was no sort of like email to say on my way. And this is why I always send an email saying on my way, because parents don't know you're on your way and they stress out. And you don't want your first impression to be, where the hell are you? And that's what my first impression was. It worked out. But if they did something slightly wrong, that impression would have been intensified. So it's really important. The first phone call and the impression. Now this here is the phone party. As you can see, it was so big. A couple of things. If you're going to do a phone party, a lot of my kids looking happy here, but a lot of them got it in their mouths. So make sure they have goggles, make sure they have towels, and like somebody with a sprinkler, just to sprinkle them off because they didn't like it after a while. And the kids, I'm glad that these kids were sort of 7 to sort of 9, 10, because otherwise if they were teeny tiny, it would have been awful. because they would have sort of, got lost in there. I was a little bit frightened that they would have slipped around, but nothing happened. And also, if they would have gone as a toddler into that foam, there's 7-year-olds jumping on their heads, 9-year-olds jumping on their heads. So, yeah, that's what I didn't like. And that's it, really. So hopefully you'll enjoy the birthday party we did. Thanks.